Namaste, everyone. Today will be a 30-minute practice. So let's get started. We normally start in child's pose. But if that is too much for your knees, then you can go ahead and sit in easy pose or maybe choose to lay on your back. So if you are in child's pose, extend your arms a little farther forward and just drop your head. Take a few moments to settle. You know, today's practice is possibilities. And I will make many suggestions. And if something I say that doesn't sound quite right, please disregard. And if you start to feel fatigued, you can always come into child's pose. But here we pick up our breathing. We have a few techniques. Nostril breathing, fluid, and deep. You pick which one works for you. Give yourself time to switch gears, go into the yoga mode. "30 minutes is not a lot of time. So, let's get started. If you're with us, extend the arms a little farther forward, plant the palms. You know, you are finding out what your range of motion is, and then maybe you're starting to tune into the language of sensation. Now we're going into our first active pose. Come up on your knees, realign your knees, take the time. Plant your hands, tuck your toes under, lift up the knees, and take your hips high to the sky. If you feel like you're not stable, walk your hands out a little farther. And the same goes for the toes. Now from here, press the floor away with your hands, that's solidify. Angle the tailbone up to the sky. And stay with your breath. One more big breath here. And then on an exhale, lower both of your knees down to the mat. And let's revisit child's pose, or if you like, hero pose. Now, if you have fragile knees, this is something you might not want to try today. But sit up as tall as you can. You know, this will be kind of like a baby flow. And we'll start with some sun salutations. So from here, back on all fours, tuck the toes under, take the hips up to the sky, and take a moment to settle. So one day this might be your resting pose. Now, from here, hop or walk to your hands. Once you're there, take the time to parallel your feet. Bring your hands to your shins or fingers on the floor. Lengthen your spine. And always keep your neck soft and your teeth separated. And then exhale, fold in. Push the floor away and come up halfway. Extend through the fingers. Take another breath and come up. Reach up to the sky. And then on an exhale, baby back bend. And then slowly on an exhale, fold to the floor. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold in and stay. Take 2 big steps back. You're in upper push-up pose. We're all going to drop to our knees. You can lift up your feet and cross the ankles. Breathe in here, push the floor away. On the exhale, lower your chin down. And then release the belly, the hips, and drop the legs. Push the floor away as you come up into your first cobra pose. You could always be in Sphinx here. Exhale, lower down slow. We have 2 more to go. Inhale, lift. Soften your glutes. Exhale, lower down slow. Last one. Inhale, lift. And then exhale, lower down slow, tuck your toes under, come up on your knees, and lift up the knees and back to down dog. Continue to breathe deep, always knowing that your body, once it's warming up, the alignment might be changing. One more breath here. And then on the exhale, hop or walk to your hands. Parallel your feet. Come up with a big breath, halfway up. Exhale, fold in and stay. Arms reach out like wings. Lengthen your spine so hip away from, heart away from the hips. Press the floor away as you come up. Reach up high. And then on the exhale, tiny back bend. On the next exhale, let's fold to the floor. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold in and stay. Enjoy the stretch. And maybe start to straighten your knees to your degree. Now, 2 big steps back. You don't always have to drop to your knees, but this practice I want to make for sure everyone knows how the modifications go. So you drop the knees and you lift up your feet and you cross your ankles. Push the floor away as you bring your chin to the mat, and then release your chest and release the legs and come up into cobra pose. You've already been here before. Exhale, lower down, arms now down by your side. Palms can be wherever you want them to be, but try to bring your feet just a little bit closer. This is locust pose. You're going to lift up to your degree. So inhale, lift. And try not to strain your neck. Breathe, breathe, breathe. One more breath, toning your back muscles. And then on the exhale, lower down slow. Return the hands to your sternum and come up into that cobra pose. Exhale, lower down, curl your toes, come up to your knees. Take your hips up high, back to down dog. Maybe start to walk your legs a little bit. Now from here, bring your feet just a little bit closer. Bend the knees enough where you can spin your heels to the left. And then maybe come into full expression, side plank. And let's go back to center. Maybe walk your knees again. Come high on the toes, spin your heels to the right, bend your knees. You might stay here for a stretch. Otherwise, straighten your legs and come up into full expression. Now, come back to center. Walk your legs again. Back to down dog you go. And then let's lower the knees down and go back into hero pose or child's pose. Close your eyes. Take a moment. Now from here, come back on all fours and then to plank pose. Drop your left knee to the mat. Side plank. So you're on this plumb line. So the wrist, the knee, and the arch. Long body. And when you're ready, take your right arm up and then open up wide. Still sucking the breath in. Take a big breath in here and then exhale, extend that arm over your head. And if you want to play with the height of the right leg, if you're balanced from its lift, you make that decision. Now press the floor away with your left hand. Squeeze the muscles in your right foot. Open your heart more if you can. One more breath. And then on exhale, drop your gaze, drop the right hand. Keep your right leg extended back. But now lift up the right leg. Look forward, big breath in, lift up the head and the right leg. And on the exhale, bring that knee in, nose to knee. Inhale, lift up the leg if you can. Exhale, pull it in. One more time. Inhale, lift, and then exhale, pull it in. Then extend that leg straight back and take your left arm forward. Reach, extend, firm up your core. Try to keep that right hip facing down. You should feel the isolation in the glutes. One more breath here. On the exhale, drop your left hand and drop your right toes. Start to curl your left toes under. Lift up that left knee and then straighten the left knee as you lift up your right leg. And then scorpion pose, right? Bend the knee. And look underneath your armpit. That would be your right one. Try to straighten your left knee to your degree. One more big breath. And then guide that right foot halfway forward. Pull the fingertips back. Take your time. You've got enough time. Lift up your left leg. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And then bring that left foot forward. Open up your feet nice and wide. Toes can be turned out or they're forward. And if you have fragile knees, just bend maybe almost 90 degrees and arms reach out like wings. But the rest of us, if you're with us, we're going into garland pose. High on the toes, elbows inside. Elbows push out, legs push back. And just tune into your 10 toes. Continue to lengthen your spine. But if you're with us, lace your fingers, rotate your palms up to the sky. Side body long, one more big breath here. And then on the exhale, release the hands down. Drop the heels, forward fold you go. 2 big steps back. Down dog, drop to your knees, and let's pause. You're working on building this sequence. You know, for some it might be kind of humbling. They're simple poses. And yoga is not supposed to be enjoyable. It requires you to be present. So now, back on all fours, straighten your legs, and then place the right knee down. And you're going into side plank on the other side. Tall spine, and left arm reaches when you're ready. Open your heart if you can. And if you're ready, take your arm over your head, and then if balance permits, lift up that left leg. But if you don't feel like it, drop it down. The work is still there. If the left foot is touching the mat, squeeze the muscles in the foot. Press the palm away. So you're pressing the floor away as you push the palm down. One more big breath here. And then on the exhale, lower the gaze and drop your left hand. Once your right knee is underneath the hip, lift up your left leg. Now take your gaze forward. I'm going to breathe in here. And then on the exhale, pull that knee in and around. 2 more times. Inhale, lift. And then exhale, pull it in. Inhale, lift. And exhale, pull it in. Now start to extend that left leg. Straighten the knee to your degree. Right arm will reach. Drop your head and separate your teeth. If you are looking for length reach, go longer. If you're looking for strength, lift up a little higher. We call that Jonesing up. One more big breath here. And then exhale, put your right hand down and drop the left foot. Tuck your right toes under. Start to lift up that right knee and straighten your right knee as you lift up your left leg. And then you're going to start to bend that knee. That would be your left one. Stack your hips. Scorpion pose. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Now, on your next exhale, guide that left foot halfway forward. Take a moment to pick up the right leg. Start to straighten your left knee to your degree. Bring your forehead to the shin. You flirt with the height of your right leg. One more breath. And then lower those right toes down to the mat. Go into a squat pose if your knees are fragile. Arms reach out. Or drop to your fingertips. Come high on the toes, elbows inside. Tall spine. Now push the elbows into the legs and the legs push back. And if you're looking to Jones it up, lace your fingers. Rotate the palms up to the sky, side body long. Lift up your hips just a little bit. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Now, release your hands down. Drop the heels, fold, forward fold. Take a moment to pause. Just enjoy the backside stretch. Now from here, toe heel your feet just a little bit wider and bring your hands to your waist and then come up to stand. And let's turn. Open your feet wide. Turn your toes diagonal. Knees toward the toes. Try not to have your knees cave in. Side body long, arms reach. If you're happy here, stay here. Otherwise, come up to the toes. Push the floor away. Side body long. Staying with your breath. You can sink a little farther if you want. Breathe. Now, exhale. Drop the heels, drop the hands, bring them to your waist, and then open up a little wider. Hands still on the waist, lean back slightly. And then on exhale, fold to the floor. Hands can grab the ankles, or if you want to, take your arms up to the sky, lace the fingers, straighten the arms, and drop the arms towards your head. You know, instead of paying attention if the head is touching, straighten your knees to your degree. Be gentle with the shoulders, still breathing deep. Just a few more breaths. Now, wherever your hands are, bring them to the center of your mat. Toe heel your feet just a little bit closer. Bring your hands to your waist, and let's come up to stand. Come to the top of your mat. Mountain pose. Hands to heart for me. Close your eyes. So let everything that's transpired integrate. Now, breathe in. Arms reach out and up. Exhale, lean back to your degree. On the next exhale, lower down as well. Come up halfway, extend your spine. It should feel nice. And then exhale, fold in. Slightly bend your knees here. And then begin to dip into those hips. Arms reach out like wings. Fierce pose. Come up halfway. Now try not to stick out your glutes too much. Press firmly into the floor and bend a little more. Dip into the hips. Firm up your core. Take a big breath in here. And then on exhale, bring your hands together to heart. Slide your left foot in. Keep the knees bent. It's called twisted prayer. Long spine. Look up if you can. Let's stay for an extra breath. Now, from here, kick out the left foot. Return to fierce pose. I know your thighs are probably on fire. Let's go right to the other side. Bring your hands together. Slide the foot in. Knees bend. Twist. Long spine. Breathing deep. Neck is soft. Teeth are separated. One more breath. Now, kick it out. Back to fierce pose. Now from here, shift the weight to your right foot, pick up your left knee, and extend that left leg forward. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Now let's go right into airplane pose. Arms reach out, left leg lifts. Extend it back as far as you can. One more breath. And then bring that left foot forward. Bend your knees again. We're in that fierce pose. And then start to straighten. Keep your arms up to the sky. And then pick up that right knee and bring it forward. Straighten the leg. All the while you're still sucking the breath in. Now, airplane pose. Stay calm. Stay with your breath. Now, bring that foot forward. Back to fierce pose. Back to a forward fold. 2 big steps back. Down dog. We're going into a pigeon pose here. So you have 3 options here. If you're not capable of doing it, or if you don't want to, that is, in prone position, you can lay on your back. Otherwise, bend your right knee and slide that right knee towards your hands, and then slide the left leg back. Roll to your right hip, the lower part of that right leg in any angle that feels right to you. And then go ahead and drop down to your forearms. All the while you're still sucking the breath in. You can always curl the back toes, and whatever stretch you're looking for, but make sure you're breathing. One more breath. And then come up on your hands and bring that back leg forward. And then straighten the left leg. Right knee will bend, and you'll place the lower part of that right leg in what we call a half hero. Now, if this is too much for your knee, you're going to want to just put the foot inside the thigh. Hands go behind. Kind of play with it a little bit. If you want to go down farther, it's entirely up to you. But tune into your thighs. Just hang out and breathe. Now from here, come up. This right leg now, you're going to cross it over the left and you hug it in, hug that knee in. Left arm underneath the right, right hand goes behind. Take a big breath in, and then you move from the chest, just a gentle twist. Always a tall spine. Now from here, come back to center. Release that leg. Cross over your ankles. 2 big steps back, back to down dog. And we have the other side. Now if you couldn't get there that way, get there any way you can. And then pick up, bend the left knee and bring it forward. Slide the right leg back and you make a decision on the angle of the left leg. If you're ready to drop down to your forearms, do so. And if you want to add a little more to it, curl your toes under the right toes and lift up the knee. Breathe. Never forcing the breath. Just enjoy the stretch. One more breath here. And then you'll come up on your hands, and that back leg is going to swing forward. So the right leg stays long, the left knee is bent, and you go into that half hero. Remember, if that doesn't work for you, you can always bring that left foot inside the thigh. Take your hands behind you. Doesn't matter if your fingers are forward or out. Drop down as far as you like. This is also a fish pose. Stay with your breath. Now from here, come up. Release that left leg and cross it over. Bring the knee in to the chest. Right arm underneath, left hand behind. And then twist. Hope you feel in these 30 minutes that we touched all places in your body, those nooks and crannies. Now, come back to center. Straighten your legs for a moment and work on your sit bones. Then bend the knees and the feet are at least hip distance apart. Take your hands behind. This is Fist of Fire, so we'll do 3 of these. Inhale, come forward, reach as far as you can, then reach up as far as you can. Lean back with a tall spine, lift up your legs and bring the fist to the waist. 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Keep the legs lifted, but put your hands on your hamstrings. Pull the knees as close to your chest as possible. Try not to stress out your toes. Tall spine. Working on back muscles and stomach. Pull the knees in just a little bit closer if you can. And if you want to release your hands, that's perfectly fine. But then maybe bring your hands together to heart center. And then twist toward the right. And then twist toward the left. And then come back to center. Drop the feet. Bring the bottom of your feet together. It's called butterfly. Find your sit bones again. You should be near the perineum. Without forcing the fold. Always starting from the hips with the fold. Enjoying the stretch. Now from here, come up. Straighten your legs and then lay on your back. Once you're there, pull your knees in, hold onto your shins, and just rock side to side for a moment. Maybe take some circles, massaging your back. 30 minutes is not enough time to get the body warm. And hopefully we got 60%. Just keep the hands on the shins, lift up your forehead, bring the knees and your forehead together and squeeze your bathroom muscles. Squeeze anything you can. And then on the exhale, lower the head down. Take both of your legs up to the sky. Straighten your knees to your degree. Arms down by your side, palms down or palms up. Now, how far you lower the leg is going to depend on your back. So let's start out with 30 degrees. And just start to notice, are you able to keep your ribs down and the chin down without forcing? And maybe some of you might want to go a little bit lower. Continue to straighten your knees to your degree. Continue to push your ribs down and still breathing deep. Now maybe some of you want to lower all the way down, about 2 inches. Let's just stay here for an extra breath. And then bring the legs back up. Bend the knees, rock side to side. And then with 2 fingers of victory, grab your big toes, hook those big toes and open up your legs. Straighten your knees. Try to keep your sacrum down on the mat. Long spine, just enjoying the inner thigh stretch. You're still rib anchoring. You're still sucking the breath in. The breath is still deep, even though we know we're nearing our practice. Now, bring your legs together. Hold on to the shins again, and just maybe take some of those circles. We have One more pose before we close. Left leg laid flat to your mat. Left hand on the outside of that right knee. Right arm extends and twists toward the left. Then take your gaze to the right. Still breathing deep. Still in tune with the language of sensation. Still noticing. And it takes a lot of focus and concentration to create awareness. Now if you're with us, back to center. Hands on the shin, pull that knee into the armpit. And then start to switch sides. You've already had a dress rehearsal. So right hand on the outside, left arm extends. And then twist toward the right. Now never pulling, never forcing. Turn your gaze to your left hand. Still sucking your breath in deep. Now, begin to come out of the pose and hands on the shins again, pull that left knee towards your armpit. Now bring both legs, both knees in and give yourself a squeeze. So the last pose is Savasana. If you want to be on your back, fine. Or you can come up into easy pose. You make the decision. Close your eyes. Begin to notice the change in your breath. Now this is the beginning of regaining your autonomy over yourself. You're not trying to suppress the outside distractions, your thoughts, your emotions. And maybe you are wanting to use a mantra while you settle. The easiest one I can think of is when you inhale, repeat the words, breathe in, and when you exhale, breathe out. That's how easy meditation is. It was never meant to be complicated. And maybe start to encapsulate this idea of no gain, no goal. And maybe you're starting to move away from your transaction mind. I think sometimes we're becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable. And with the ability to sit still or lay still, that's the challenge. Your anchor is always returning to the breath. And maybe take a moment to ask how you treated your partner today. You would never ask anything of you. You are unique. There's no one else like you. So I hope you were in this yoga practice that you felt the poses and not worry about how you look. practice is over. And this is just a suggestion. And where Simon says, and when you move, please be present. And if you're sitting, sit up just a little bit taller to create a new habit. Then bring your hands together to heart center and slightly bow. Namaste. Thank you for practicing.